Hello, friends. You are welcome to Anchor Network, where you get updates of things happening around you. I appreciate every one of you that have subscribed to this channel. And if you have not subscribed, I say thank you very much, because I know that at the end of this news, you are going to subscribe. And I want you to press the red button and also the bell icon so that you'll be notified anytime we publish any news. Thank you very much once again. Governors, before you secede Southwest land, remember what happened to Afonja, says Gani Adams. Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, Chief Gani Adams, speaks on issues of national interest, especially the controversial establishment of rural settlements across the country, in this interview with Bola Badmus. This issue of suspended rural settlement threatened the country and polarized the polity. What is your own view of the program as initially planned by the federal government? He said, the plan to establish rural settlement was a result of trying to revisit the jihadist agenda that was started in 1804. We didn't see the policy as a way of to settle the crisis of S-men. We saw it as a dangerous trend that was coming to our abode in the southwest. And we saw it as a way of imposing on us those who had been threatening our lives and properties. We called on the whole world that we didn't want rural settlement policy at all. If they were settling the herdsmen who deal in cows, what about the people who deal in piggery? What about the farmers who deal in livestock like chicken, and farmers who deal in various other animals? Why is this federal government laying emphasis only on those who deal in cows? As a matter of fact, the issue of ranches is private. The federal government does not have business involving itself in it, or even using resources to build communities for them. Before the issue of these criminal Fulani Esme, who are maiming, killing, raping, kidnapping our people, destroying their farms, burning them and collecting money from them, we had some Fulani living in Yoruba land, and they were living in peace and harmony. Nobody documented the lands given to them. They were being given lands by our royal fathers or landowners in the community based on relationship, not by allowing a state government to give them 31 acres of land on the basis of issuing documents to them and processing certificates of occupancy, C of O. Now, should they succeed in doing that, as contemplated by the federal government, they would now install an emir on that land. Our memory is still refreshed about what happened between 1818 and 1824 when some Fulani came to Ilorin as Islamic scholars. In the process of settling down, Afonja was killed in 1884. That was how we lost the leadership of Ilorin. The same thing happened elsewhere. Though people were not killed in Lokoja, systematically the Yoruba, the Oworo, who founded Lokoja, now called Lokoja, are not on their original land. The land has been taken away or taken over, and the prominent traditional ruler of Lokoja now is an emir. The Oworo are now living in the hills of Lokoja. We don't want to repeat the past mistake, and we have communicated to our royal fathers. We have communicated to our governors, who are the chief security officers of every state in the southwest, what in Yoruba land. That in Yoruba land, history is very important. You should not cause a repeat of a problem we had in some of our towns in Yoruba land. The problem should not recur. Yoruba people had never wanted Ruga. It is unwarranted, needless, and dangerous policy. It is a policy that can break this nation, just as it has overheated the polity. 4 main zones in Nigeria: Middle Belt, Southwest, Southeast, and South-South, kicked against it. We said we didn't want Ruga as a policy for settlement. But people said in a situation like this, consultations ought to have been the first approach. Why would you think the federal government never consulted before this kind of decision was taken? Even if there was a dialogue, nobody would agree with them on this. I said that because the federal government appeared to be saying there would have been advantages, among which was the settlement would boost economy apart from creating job opportunities. Didn't you see it that way? And he said, the advantages, as reflected in the statement of spokesperson to the president, Garba Shehu, were watery. It was just cajole. It was as if they were playing on the intelligence of an entire country. You don't play on the intelligence of a whole country. Are you telling me people were not doing their cattle business in Kara, in Lagos, and in different locations in Yoruba land, in the south, and even in Nigeria as a whole? So what you are telling me is that if you gave them land, then own the land, and you put some packages there, why couldn't you hand over such money to the state government? The state government should provide facilities for Kara in places where they exist already. The state government owns the land and you rent it to the business, so those people would be paying to the state government. You could go and rent your own house anywhere. Why did you want to build a community and put structures there? Is it so that in the process, when you put up those rural settlements, they might even be more beautiful than the main town? The money should have been given or channeled to different areas. So it is not about dialogue. There is no dialogue about this issue, or other than for security operatives to move against the criminals. It is criminal to say you want to dialogue with somebody who maims, kidnaps, and collects ransom. When he kidnaps somebody, you have to pay 10 million naira. You want to dialogue with somebody who went to somebody else's farms, worth billions of naira, grazed his cows on that farmland, and made his cows eat all the crops and later burnt down the rest of the farm. That is arson. It is criminal. Definitely the federal government should go and dialogue with those armed robbers robbing banks too. The same for those tired killers that collect money to murder people in cold blood. The federal government should go and dialogue with them. This is not an issue of dialogue. It is about putting adequate measures in place to stop the menace, arresting those who are involved in it. The government should apply speedy trial and let justice be done. You don't pamper criminals. From the beginning, you will see the way the federal government had been making steps. They wanted to give the Miyetti Allah 100 billion naira. The people rose against it and stopped it. Now the issue of giving them communities, spending billions of naira on those locations, making them modern communities is the least. Why? We have our farmers in Yoruba land, even from the bogus budget of the Ministry of Agriculture. They were not giving loans as similar packages. They were discouraging our farmers and running the agricultural system in their area. Now, even concerning private initiative, many people want to be involved in agriculture. They want to spend their money, but are afraid that if they go to farm, the kidnappers would kidnap them. The way this thing is going, within a period of time, there will be shortage of food. There will be a famine in Nigeria. Are you talking about implication now? Yes, that will be part of the implications of kidnapping. Do you mean both immediate and long-term implications? Now we have Boko Haram in the northeast, we have bandits in the northwest, and we have Fulani Esme in the middle belt and the entire south. How do you want to portray a nation? The economy is in a state of comatose, and you still want to encourage something that would discourage investors from coming into the country. This is not only about investors that are coming, but also about those who are already in the country. With their investments, they would move out of the country when there is no security. Even those of us that spoke with some investors when we traveled out of the country, by the time they heard the name of Nigeria, they will say it was a no-go area. They will just trick you saying they didn't want to come to Africa for now. But when you probe them further, they will say they didn't want to come to Nigeria. They prefer to go to Ghana or other West Africa countries other than Nigeria. You see that hardly would you people from other country come to study in Nigeria. It is Nigerians that go to study in other countries. Even Benin Republic, about 70% or 80% of our students of universities in Benin Republic are Nigerians. Even their main secondary schools are populated by Nigerians. You don't see Ghanaians coming to Nigeria to study anymore. It is only Nigerians that go to Ghana to study. It is only Nigerians that go to Kenya to study, and ditto for other countries in Africa and outside it, including Britain, America, among others. However, in the 70s and 80s, we had a lot of foreigners coming to Nigeria to study, and what that meant was that we had education tourism. That would have been part of ways of making money for the country. Britain is making not less than 11 billion euro on education tourism annually. India is making up to $15 billion annually on education tourism. So also Britain making money from health tourism. All we talk about here is oil, and we start taxing companies that we don't even supply with electricity. So I think a lot of things are going wrong with this country. It is not at this stage that Nigerians should be talking about Esme destroying our farms. So I think this issue of Ruga from the start had been a no-go area in Southwest, and I believe the entire South did not want it. When we want it, that what we want is that the government should flush out the criminals. I am not saying the people should attack the Hausa Fulani in their areas. We are not tagging all the Hausa Fulani as our enemies. We are talking about the criminals who are in Nigeria and those who came from Niger and Chad, etc., who are criminals, who are mercenaries that pretend to be farmers only to come to our communities to kidnap people and engage in other criminal activities. So guys, that's just the interview with a Gani Adams, and he's trying to warn the governors that before you give land to, to this Ruga settlement of a thing, you should think of what happened before. Talking of Afonja, the way they came in, and we all know how it resulted to. So they don't want to repeat the same questions, and they are really seeing ahead and making sure that what happened before, the problem that befell them, will not repeat itself. And that is why they are kicking against it. They are saying it categorically. I think Gani Adams is one of the people from the Southwest that is lauding it, that is making it known that they don't really want it. I don't think some of the Yorubas have really made a categorical statement on this issue, but Gani Adams has been the one. You can hear him louder. That in Southwest they don't want it, and even the youth or from the Southwest, they have said they don't want it, that if their governor should embark on it, they will not take it lightly with them. So that's just my own opinion, guys. I would like you guys, to put down your opinion in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening. Bye.